Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to Oscar's Cozy Corner, or welcome if you're new. So today we're going to be stepping outside of the valley just a little bit and taking a look at a game that's been on my radar for a little while now, and one that I think that you might love too. It's called Witchbrook, and it is a cozy life sim game where you actually play a student witch attending kind of like school or college in a sleepy seaside town called Mossport. Now you'll be learning spells, flying around on broomsticks, making friends in co-op on multiplayer, which I think is a great addition. And it's kind of got the same cozy charm and pacing as games like Dreamlight Valley and Stardew Valley. Though this one does have that like magical little twist, which I like. It is still in development, but there is a proper trailer out now. It has a Steam page live, and it does look as though we're going to be able to access it and play towards the end of 2025, hopefully. But for this video, I thought that it would be fun to take a look at what we know, break down everything that we've seen so far, take a closer look at the art style, the storyline, and things like that, because it is a really, really beautiful game. We'll also touch on why it's been in development for so long and how it's probably going to stand out in a sea of cozy games. This is not an ad. I would just like to clarify. It's not a sponsored post or anything like that. I just love the look of it. I think it's very exciting. I can't wait to get my hands on it. And I just think that this audience will appreciate it as well. So grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's have a chat about this charming, cozy life sim and why it might just be worth the wait. So why don't we start with the basics and what actually is Witchbrook? Now, Witchbrook is a pixel art life sim and kind of like social RPG that is currently being developed by Chucklefish. Now, Chucklefish is the same studio that had some involvement in publishing Stardew Valley way back in the day. I know a lot happened with that particular scenario, but this one is completely their own original project. So in Witchbrook, you play as a young witch in training who's just enrolled at Witchbrook College, and that is a school of magic nestled in a coastal town called Mossport. The main idea is to live out your witchy student life, go to classes, learn spells, explore the town, and build relationships with the people around you. So rather than farming to save your grandfather's land or restoring a magical valley, this one is about growing into your own magical identity. You're going to be following in your ancestors' footsteps to become the local witch, and you're learning everything from scratch day by day. It's also not a traditional fantasy RPG with combat and quests everywhere. It's very much focused on the slice of life moments, kind of like the day-to-day magic of chatting with someone in the cafe, tending to your potion garden, or just bumping into a classmate on your way to a lesson. Very character driven and very cozy. So what do you actually do in Witchbrook? Well, the core of the game revolves around your life as a student. You will be attending classes, things like herbology, elemental magic, and potion brewing, and it sounds like the classes are more than just cutscenes. You will actually be interacting with them, learning how to perform spells or use materials that feed into other parts of the game, which I really love. But then the nice thing is that outside of class, your free time is completely your own. So you can go foraging in the woods for ingredients, you can head out to the coast to fish, or even just spend time in your garden planting some magical crops. Now you might decide to do a bit of crafting, make some potions, or even just pop into town for a chat with a local. It does all seem very open-ended, which I absolutely love. It does seem as though there's also going to be a weekly Sunday market where you can sell things that you've either kind of like made or gathered, which gives it that nice little Stardew-esque rhythm. Gather resources, create something, and sell it just at the right time. And there's also hints at seasonal events, so things like festivals or themed celebrations. And I've seen mentions of a trick-or-treat style event around autumn, which sounds very up my street. Even though at its core it does seem like an extremely cozy game, there does seem to be a bit of mystery and adventure too, if you like that sort of thing, so you can venture into deeper parts of the forest, and there's even some mention of like Zelda-style combat, which I wasn't expecting from a game like this, but I do quite like the idea of balancing cozy day-to-day life with maybe just a little bit of magical mischief. So whether you do actually want to become the best spellcaster in school or just relax in the garden making herbal tea, it does sound like Witchbrook is going to give you the space to do either or a bit of both. Very much my vibe, and I'm very excited to see what else we learn about this over the next couple of months. But let's actually talk about some of the things that really make Witchbrook stand out from other games in the genre, and one of the big ones for me is broomstick travel. So you're not just going to be walking everywhere, you will actually be able to fly around town on your broom, and there are even some broom racing events. It's not something I've seen done properly in many Cozy games. Obviously, the biggest comparison is Hogwarts Legacy, but I do feel like these are really incomparable in terms of gameplay. But it just adds a fun little element to getting around. Even more so if I can customize my broom and sort of like have it in the style that I want it, or make it look how I would like to have a broom in real life, I'm in. Another standout for me is going to be online co-op, which is confirmed for up to 4 players. So that means you can live your witchy life with your friends, attending classes, helping each other gather ingredients, or just hanging out and decorating. It's not every day a game like this launches with multiplayer fully baked in, so I do think that's going to be a huge draw for a lot of people, especially with close-knit friend groups and stuff like that. But speaking of visuals, Witchbrook's art style is absolutely stunning. It's isometric pixel art, but really, really detailed and full of charm. I've actually gone on record and kind of said that I don't love pixel art style games. I used to be a Habbo Hotel player 15 years ago. I've never really gotten into Stardew Valley. I don't love pixel art games personally all that much, but there's just something about Witchbrook that has captured my attention, and every time I look at it, all I can think is, wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. I believe back in 2020, they actually completely redid the art style to give it even more depth and personality, and it absolutely shows. There are stunning, stunning town streets with flower boxes, there's warm light spilling from shop windows, magical little sparkles here and there. It's got a handcrafted, slightly whimsical look that just pulls you in. I also love that the world blends magic and modern life, so you'll see broomsticks flying past scooters or spell books next to a coffee machine. It's got this slightly quirky kind of like tone to it, practical magic, everyday people, a bit of oddness sprinkled in, and I do believe that the devs have said that they were inspired by things like Terry Pratchett's Discworld, Steven Universe to an extent, which does explain a lot of the warm, grounded atmosphere. Now, we touched on it briefly, but it's not trying to be Hogwarts, and I really appreciate that. It's not about chosen ones or magical wars. It does just seem to be about day-to-day life, community, growth, and kind of like finding your place in the world, just with a few extra potions and maybe a flying race. It does seem as though relationships are going to be a really big part of Witchbrook. Now, this game puts a lot of emphasis on the people around you, whether that's fellow students or the townsfolk in Mossport, and each character has their own routines, their own likes, their own dislikes. You'll be able to build friendships and even romantic relationships over time. And it seems like it's not just going to be about like giving them gifts and hoping for the best. They do seem to have personalities, and I believe they'll actually respond to how you behave as well. So you might grow close to someone, perhaps you'll go on dates or start a relationship, but apparently they can break up with you if things go wrong, which is both heartbreaking and hilarious, I suppose, depending on the situation. It's definitely a bold choice for a cozy game, but for me, I think it makes the world feel just a little bit more real, even though we're dealing with magic, and it definitely makes the characters feel more alive. Personally, I love when a cozy game puts effort into its characters. It makes the slower moments of the game more meaningful when you're actually invested in those characters and the people around you. So whoever I run into, whoever I make relationships with, I am here for it. If you're wondering why this is just an I'm looking forward to this game video and why we haven't been playing Witchbrook already, it's because this game has been in development for a long time. I did a little bit of research, and I do actually believe it started way back in 2016, originally under the name Spellbound. Now, Chucklefish began working on it after finishing their space game Starbound, and it's been kind of like quietly, well, very quietly evolving ever since. They have made some huge changes along the way, so they switched game engines, they redid the art style, and then they brought on another studio, Robotality, to help bring everything together. So it has been a slow process, but part of that is down to Chucklefish's no crunch policy. They have been very open about the fact that they don't rush or overwork their team, which I really respect, although I'm not 100% sure if something happened with the Stardew Valley team. I found some conflicting things around that time, so I don't know if the no crunch policy was an addition because they were doing that previously, but that's not what this video is about. And even though it has taken a while, the game has steadily gained traction. It is one of the most wishlisted games on Steam right now, and every time a new screenshot or trailer drops, it feels like the hype builds even more. So while it might have been a bit of a slow brew, sometimes a slow brew is the best tasting one. So it definitely feels like it's been worth the wait, and I think it will be worth the wait. For me, there just seems to be like a level of polish and heart here that you don't always see with early trailers, and that does give me a lot of hope for that final release. So I'm sure that you are wondering, when can we actually play it? Now, the current release window is winter 2025, which likely means late in the year, probably November or December time. At present, it's coming to PC via Steam, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and the upcoming Switch 2, which was a bit of a surprise. It was during that Switch 2 announcement, I believe, that we got a closer look at it, and it will also be available on Xbox Game Pass on day one. So if you're already subscribed, that is an easy way to jump right in. Unfortunately, there's no confirmation on a PlayStation version just yet, but they have said that they're open to other platforms in the future, and I mean, a lot can change in a short amount of time, so we will see. There's every possibility that it might come to PlayStation towards the end of the year as well. In the meantime, you can wishlist it on Steam or follow Witchbrook's socials and the other dev blog if you want to stay in the loop. I don't believe there's been that many updates, but I am subscribed to the mailing list. I think it's like Mossport News or something like that, so I will keep an eye out for that and cover any exciting new changes. So yeah, that's Witchbrook. I hope this little deep dive was at least a little bit helpful. There's definitely a lot to be excited about, and I'm really hoping that it does live up to its potential, because I feel like there's a lot of potential there to live up to. I will say it's nice to see a game take its time. I know it's been in development for years, but I also love that it's not trying to be everything at once. It knows what it is. It's cozy, it's magical, it's a life sim, and they're staying in their lane. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Is this the sort of game that you would play? Is this something that you would be interested in? Or are there any other cozy games on your radar this year that I should know about? I would love to do some more of these cozy game spotlights every now and again, so if you did enjoy this video, give it a like, let me know. I feel like it mixes things up a little bit and just helps us keep an eye on what else is out there and what else could be coming for our time, maybe? Thanks for watching. I will see you again soon for more builds, decorating, and general chaos. But with that being said, I will leave it there for today. I will catch you in the next one, and maybe I'll see you in Witchbrook.